So from the ancient Neolithic revolution or the agricultural revolution about 12,000 years ago or so, taking humans or mankind from hunting and gatherers to the age of agricultural settlements. So they took their prehistoric gods of hunting and gathering and brought them into a new age of agricultural gods. So the knowledge of the seasons and the cycles of agriculture gave man eternal life. So you see how these ancient custom rituals of agriculture gave rise to the spirit of nature being embedded into the fields or the crops. God's essence or his spirit was reflected in the fertility of the crops. So this is why Jesus is the spirit of vegetation. He is the agricultural God, which is the reason that he takes on the characteristics of the crop. He is sowed in springtime, or the spring lamb, when things begin to be reborn again from the new spring sun. And then, like the grain, he is reaped or sacrificed for the welfare of the people, which is actually the ritual of ancient human sacrifice for the welfare and the fertility of the crops. So the sacrifice of God's Son is really the sacrifice of the Son of God, because God's Son brings eternal life to the crops, which brings eternal life to mankind. The Greek and Roman god Saturn or Cronus, Saturn L, was also a harvest lord, a fertility god, an agricultural corn god. And throughout history, the fertility of the crops or the harvest was related to the fertility of the god or gods. So the harvest seasons of nature built the foundation for the stories of the Bible. And thus nature, or the season, is built upon the new birth in springtime, which is why the Bible characters are all about the Aries springtime of March, the spring lamb. And thus the Passover of springtime, the Nisan or Aviv, when the seeds are fully grown. So from the rituals of harvesting and reaping the last sheaf, we have the ancient rituals of the spirit of the doll, and thus the spirit of the religion of Jesus, or the one that is sacrificed for the harvest. So from the last sheaf, the Bible has the story of the Last Supper, which of course takes place just before the Passover, or passing into and over the new era of a new age or a new year. It's going from the old to the new, the spring equinox. And the pillars of the old and the new, or the left and right, the beginning and the end of the year of the old and the year of the new, is a gateway or a doorway. In fact, this is why Jesus in the Last Supper is dressed in the red and the blue, which reflects the two bicycle seasons of winter and summer, or the sun and the moon. And Jesus is number 13 with the 12 houses of the zodiac, or the 12 tribes of Israel. And if you look at the picture, you'll notice they're in groups of 3. 4 groups of 3, which represents the 4 seasons of the zodiac, which are made up of 3 houses each. So the 3 months of each quarter make up the 12 houses of the zodiac, which is 4 times the 13 weeks. So you see they're inside the tabernacle or Solomon's temple, the house of God, which is the house of the zodiac. So you see, this is why they're showing you the 3 pillars. It's really the two pillars, and you'll notice the doorway in the mid-L. This is why it's the basic foundation of the 101. It all makes perfect sense once you understand the symbolism. So the symbolism of the portal, the doorway, or the gateway is shown in many Hollywood films. Okay, so the reoccurring theme here is the gateway, the doorway, the portal, the two pillars, and the portal in the mid-L, and the green man, the vegetation god, the agricultural god, who is the horned one, the spirit of nature. And then you have, of course, the seasons and the Aries, or the third month of March, and springtime, the new spring lamb, when our world is reborn again from death of winter. So, for everything that I'm about to show you coming up right now, I want you to think about the doorway and the pillar and the green man and, of course, springtime. So you see, everything I just told you will be found in films like The Matrix, the choice of the red and the blue, the bicycle seasons of nature, which is exactly why everything in the movie of The Matrix is showing you the symbolism of the green. Because he is the green man, which is exactly why his name is Neo. Neo means new, the new lamb of the new year in springtime, the spring fertility of the new birth or the rebirth of the green man, the spirit of nature. And of course, this is why they released The Matrix during the green fertility of springtime. And that's exactly why they show you the portal or the doorway. So you see, Neo is the green man, the spring green man. He is Jesus, which is why Jesus is the spring green lamb. The ancient worship of trees, or the spirit of nature in the green forest, goes back thousands of years before the Bible, like the ancient pagan druidic order of tree worship, the old world religion of worshiping the ancient horn god. So from the ancient bull gods with horns came the more modern day animals with horns, like the ram and the deer. Thus the fertility of the ancient horn of the ancient horned one. Thus the ancient green man is the horned man, who is also known as Cernunnos. So this is why when you're looking at the shroud of Turin of Jesus, you're actually looking at the shroud of Cernunnos, the ancient horn god. And that's why the very word Turin even means the bull, the Taurus bull, which is why the city of Turin has the logo of the bull with horns. So like I said, Jesus is the spirit of vegetation, the green man. He is the horned one, the one that wears the sacred crown. So not only is he related to the pillar, he's also the doorway or the gateway. So you see, the gateway to heaven and the gate to hell is talking about the equinoxes of spring and autumn. So you see, Aries, the spring lamb, is the pillars or the gateway of the green door. Which brings me to the Wizard of Oz, which, of course, has the green witch. And the main character of the story is about an orphan who is 12 years old. 12, the 12 houses of the zodiac that's ready to go through the threshold of the doorway, which is exactly why her name is Dorothy, the doorway. And you see, this is why she's on the path of the golden sun, or the yellow brick road, the spiral of life. So this is why they're on a journey on the Golden Road during springtime with all the flowers, and they're headed to the Emerald City, which is the Green City. So what you're looking at is the sun through the four seasons on its journey to the Green Door, or the Emerald Portal, which is exactly why they come to the Green Man at the Green Doorway. So like I said, once you have the key that opens the doorway to all doors, the key of wisdom, you'll understand the symbolism and what they're really talking about. So the wizard is God. That's why he takes many forms and characters throughout the journey of the seasons or the journey of the movie. And that's why his fake persona is that of the evil Baal on fire and being mean and evil and controlling the people. But the truth is, the man behind the green screen or the green curtain, the green doorway, is the anthropomorphic character of nature who is God. Thus the old druidic wizard. And by the way, his name is Marvel. The Mar is for March or Aries, the spring grain lamb of El. Now, of course, the Wizard of Oz has the apple tree in the garden, thus the apple tree in the Garden of Eden. Thus we have the symbolism of the fertility of the sacred apple tree, representing the fertility of the 101 or Adam and Eve, and the tree of life, thus representing the sacred fertility of the cycle of life, from the old to the new, the left pillar and the right pillar, or the male and the female, because eternal life is the fertility of nature or sex. And thus when you have sex, you're entering through the portal or the doorway. Perhaps that's why we have the green fertility as he sticks his head through the hole. And of course, Hollywood is often found using the symbolism of the sacred hole, or the glory hole. I'll show you a couple of examples of glory holes that are found in Hollywood films, like Gremlins. And of course, they show you the phallic symbolism poking through the holes, and then she even puts her mouth on it. And again, poking the head through the hole. And if you saw my documentary on where the evil things are, about where the wild things are, you clearly saw the holes in the tree that were made by the horny monster. And of course they even show the child putting his head through the hole. Thus the symbolism of feeling horny, the horned one, the green fertility of the horny horned one. And by the way, look at the hair of the green man at the green door. You'll notice his hair looks like a pair of horns. And speaking of the green man behind the green curtain or the green door, we have the porno movie called Behind the Green Door, like the circle doorway of Oz, which is like the story of The Wizard of Oz, which is a story of nature. The black versus the white, with the evil green witch, in the land of the green, or the Emerald City. And you'll notice the crops of the cornfields. An adventure story of the traveling fool who goes through the doorway, the gateway, or the portal, which is why they show you the black and white that changes over into the full color, because we're talking about the full color of springtime.
Am I dreaming?
You're in Oz. It's the Emerald City. You are here at last, and the prophecy shall be fulfilled.
So the character of nature is back, and the prophecy shall be fulfilled.
The royal treasure of Oz. It belongs to you, but only after you defeat the Wicked Witch.
Just how wicked is she?
Wait. Children were orphaned.
Children were orphaned.
Great wizard from Kansas. I've waited for you to come and set things right.
So the character of Springtime is back to save the world, and of course they show you the portal eye of the doorway.